Guys, this is me Ashik. So in this video we'll be looking on how we can work with files in Flask. We'll be looking on how we can upload files using Flask, and we'll also be sending attachment of files using Flask. So let's see how we can do that in this video. So before we begin, as always, don't forget to subscribe and let's get started. So first things first we need to install the dependencies. The only dependency which we will be using in this video is Flask. So we can install them by doing pip env install Flask, which will install them in your local machine. So now in order to get started, first let's create an application file. We say app.py. Let's create our Flask application. So we say from Flask we import Flask, and in order to create our application we say app equals Flask underscore underscore name underscore underscore. We need to create an index route, so we say at app.route slash, we'll create a function called index, which is going to return a render template, and it's going to be index.html. So we'll also import this render template. We say render template. We'll also be using redirect as well. Redirect, we'll also be using flash. Yeah, that should be fine. So now let's create our index.html in the templates directory. Say templates. Instead of that, let's create an index.html. So I'm just going to press an exclamation in VS Code, which will give you a boilerplate of your HTML, and the title is going to be files in Flask. And then let's create an container. So we say div.container. Inside of this container we are going to be creating a form. So before that, let's have an h1 which says upload your files here. Yeah, and then we'll also be having a paragraph tag which says we are going to allow only a certain images. So let's say upload only png comma jpg comma jpeg and gif images only. Yeah, and now let's create our form. The action is going to be the index route, and then the method it's going to be post, and then this method is going to be post. And then since we are going to be uploading files, so we have to set the end type equals multipart slash form data. So now let's create an input field of type file, which is going to have a name of file, and this field should be required, so we use the required attribute. Let's also create an input colon submit, and then the value should be upload. So I guess that's it for the HTML. Let's see whether the application works. So if I do a flask run, it should start up. Oh, yeah. So I'll go into the local host. So now we see that our container and our HTML is being displayed. So let's just do some quick basic styling. Let's don't focus too much on the styling. So style tag dot container, it should have a width of 80%. Then the margin should be 2rem and auto. And for the input field, let's display it as block. Should have a, let's display it as block, and should have a margin dash bottom of 2rems. Then the font size is going to be 18 pixels. Let me scroll this. And for the input of type equals submit, let's give it a background color of Dodger blue. Then the color it's going to be white, and then it should have a padding of 0.8 rems, and then the border radius it's going to be 10 pixels. Yeah, that should be fine. if I refresh it, yeah. So now I guess that's fine for the index.html. So now in order to get the uploaded file in the backend, so we need to update our app.py. So let's do that. So before doing, we need to, let's first create an utils.py where we will be creating some utility functions. We say utils.py, and then we want to create a variable called allowed extensions. So which will basically contain a list of valid extensions. So which will be allowing the user to upload. It's going to be PNG, JPG, and JPEG, and GIF. And then we also need to create another variable called uploads folder, which is going to denote the path to the folder where we are going to store the files. So it's going to be it's going to be uploads/images/. So we'll create that directory in a moment. Let's create a directory called uploads, and instead of this we'll be creating a directory called images. So, and now in the app.py, since this route is going to be accepting post method as well, so we need to create a pass in the variable methods equals get and post. And if the request dot method if it is equal to get, we want to render this template. We'll also import request is, yeah. So now if the request was a post request, we need to get the file. So we say file. So before that, we first need to make sure that the post request contains the file. So we'll say if file in request.files. We'll just make sure if it is not present, we'll pass in an error message. So we say if not file in request.files. So let's flash a message which says no file part in request, and then we will return the user to the request.url. So since we are using the flash, we also need to set up a secret key. So we say app.config secret key, which is going to be my secret. So but this has to be really secret. So never ever set your secret keys in your application directly. So and if the file is present, we want to make sure that the user submitted the request with a file. So we say if file, let's first get the file. So we say file equals request.files.get file, and if the file name, if it is equal to an empty string, we'll flash in a message which says no file uploaded. Yeah, and then we will return redirect to the request.url. So and if the so before that, let's first add the uploads directory as a configuration variable. So we say app.config uploads folder equals uploads folder. So we have to import everything from the utils.py. So we say from utils import asterisk. So and the next thing what we need to make sure is that if the file was uploaded, we need to make sure that the extension of the file is valid. So we say if file underscore valid of file dot file name. So we'll create this file valid function in the utils.py. Let's just pass. So let's create a function called file valid, which is going to take in a file as a parameter. So we need to make sure that there is a dot in the file name. So we say return dot in file, and we should also make sure that the extension is in the valid extensions which the application supports. So we can do that by saying file.rsplit of dot 1 will take the first index if it is in the allowed extensions. So if the file extension is a valid extension, this function will return true. So if the file is valid, we need to, so before that we need to import a function from workzug. So we say from workzug we import secure file name. So I'll explain this what the secure file name is in a moment. Before that, we'll also import the OS module. We say import OS, and then the file name is equal to secure file name, and we need to pass in the file name. So basically what this secure file name does is that if the file name contains some extra dots or slashes, the secure file name returns a secure version of the name which can be added to the file system. So we say we use the file.save method, and we say os.path.join. So it's going to be app.config of uploads folder, and we need to pass in the file name, and we say return, just return a string which says file uploaded successfully. So before that, since we are flashing a list of messages, we need to get them in the index.html. We will be using the with block. So let's do that. We say with messages equals get flashed messages. Let's end this with, we say end with, and then let's create a for loop which says for message in messages. Let's end this for, we say end for, and for each of these messages we need to create a p tag of class, sorry, it should be of class error. We'll just plug in the message, and for this error class let's give it a text color of white, sorry, text color of red, so that this looks like an error message. So, and I guess we are pretty much okay with the core application. I guess everything is fine. Oh, from utils it should be import asterisk from utils, yeah. So now our application is running. So if I let me go back and refresh. 1 second, we have an error somewhere here. So let's refresh. Oh, and while importing an app, error was raised from workzug. Import secure file name. Oh, where am I missing something? Workzug. Import secure file name. Okay. From, let me first check the name of the package since I'm not good in German. So workzug. I guess everything is right. Why is it? Oh, it should be workzug.utils. Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah. So let me refresh this again. Yeah. So now let's try to upload, and so let's first see that we don't have any image in the images directory. So let me try to upload this. I'll upload a donut image. So if I press and upload, yeah. So now I see that the file is uploaded successfully. Here let me maximize this. So here I have the donut image which I uploaded. Yeah. So now our application is working successfully. So but for now we have only uploaded a single image. So in case if you wanted the user to allow uploading of multiple images, you can also do that. So in the index.html, in the input field, we should add an attribute called multiple in order to allow the users to submit multiple files. So there's just still refactoring which needs to be done in the application file in order to support uploading multiple files. So instead of saying request.files.get, we need to say, let me just create another line. We say files equals request.files.getList, since we are uploading multiple images of file. So let me delete this. So now we need to loop through each of these files in order to make sure that each file is valid. So we say for file in files. So we just have to add this inside the for loop. Let me indent this. So instead of just saying that the file name was not uploaded, I guess this should be fine. So we'll also indent this. The file name is a valid file name. We will also add this to the folder. And yeah, so I guess instead of we should return a message after the for loop. So we'll say return files uploaded successfully. So yeah, now this should work. So now let's refresh the browser. Yeah. So we see that now it has been changed to choose files. So now let's choose multiple files. So I'll choose some 3 files. So now if I click in upload, yeah. So now I see that the files are uploaded successfully. So now here I have the 3 images which were uploaded. So until now we have only been seeing about how we can upload files to Flask. So now we'll see on how we can send attachments in Flask. So in order to send the attachments, we'll first create a route called app.route. So whenever the user goes into this slash uploads slash images colon, we'll be using a converter called path colon file name. So what this does is that whenever the user goes into this upload slash images slash a file name, we want to send the file as an attachment. So we say define a function called send attachment. It's going to take in a file name. So before that we need to import a function from Flask. We need to import send from directory. So let me toggle saftrap. Yeah. Send from directory. So in order to send this file, we say return send from directory, and then from the directory which we want to send the image, so it's going to be app.config the uploads folder. So from the uploads folder, the file name which we want to send is the file name. So now let's first just test this. So let me go into this index route. Unexpected UOF. So there is 1 second. Slash uploads slash images slash file name. Okay. So the UOF was here, I guess. So let's go back and refresh. So yeah. So now if I go into this slash uploads slash images, and then I'll choose in an image name. So let's choose donut1.png, be donut1.png. So now I should see the file getting returned as an attachment. So let's see what happens. Yeah, so this is what will happen. The reason is that so we are not sending the file as an attachment, rather we are just displaying the file. So in order to send the file as an attachment, we should also include another parameter. So we need to include the as underscore attachment equals true. Sorry, it has to be attachment. Yeah. So now this will allow us to send the file as an attachment. So now if I go back and I'll refresh, so now if I go into slash images slash, sorry, it should be slash upload slash images slash donut1.png, I should see the donut image being sent as an attachment. Let me press enter. Oops, 1 second. As underscore attachment equals true. I'll try to refresh this. Yeah, see, now I get the file as an attachment. So I can similarly do this for other images as well. If I go into slash donut slash 3, I'll get the donut 3 image as an attachment. Yeah, so now we are able to get the file as an attachment as well. Once again, let's just view this file. Yeah, so now we get this donut image, beautiful. So now there are still a couple of things which you need to consider in this implementation. So the first thing is that, once again, so let me maximize this. So according to workzug, so what it says is that, so the secure file name function can even return an empty file name. So as a user, we should take the appropriate measures in order to make sure that the file name is not an empty file name, and we should also make sure that the file name generated is unique and no conflict occurs between two file names. So this is one thing which you need to note. And there is also another thing which you need to note is that the Flask has recently launched this version 2.0. So in the 2.0 there is a simple change which you need to note when you are using the send from directory. So once again, let's go into the send from directory. So what they say is that they have renamed the file name parameter to be path. So if you are using the version 2.0, instead of passing the file name as a parameter, you should rather pass in the path equals your file name. So if you are using the Flask 2.0, version 2.0, yeah. So I guess we have pretty much come to the end of this video, but this is not the end of the Flask series. We have a lot of videos to follow. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. Until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Thank you.